Hello, it's Mr. XOXO69. Hey everyone. We'll have a stream up later today. Later this week, it will be Uno Mobile, Phase 10, and Skippo. And NBA Live will be up later today, so look out for that, NBA Live Mobile. But today's stream is going to be a little short stream about my opinions about G4. Now, G4 is a gaming channel. I remember it when I was growing up. I was in my 30s. It came out, the original G4 came out in 2002, 2003. It stayed around 2012, 2014 on cable TV at a time where gaming channels did not exist on cable. So G4 was one of the original channels that talked about gaming and had comedy that appealed to my generation, Generation X, or the what they call them now, millennials. So a lot of young people grew up on G4. I grew up on G4, and I was in my late 20s, 30s, at a time where I used to play PlayStation. Now, as we all know by now, the new G4 is no longer on the air, or they no longer will do content for the G4 because it's been discontinued as of Sunday. A lot of people lost their jobs, and at only a year, G4 has only been around. The new G4 has been around for about a year. Now, during that year, I've seen a lot of stuff on YouTube. A lot of, as I call them, as society calls them, incels. INCEL. These are men that hate women or anything that women have to say or do. They're incels. They feel women are no more than, let's say, here for the procreate, here for their amusement. So you got to realize with the new G4, they had Gina Darling, they had Fiona, they had more women of different nationalities. Now, in the original G4, they had Olivia Munn, so they had other people, but it was mainly catering to a predominantly white male gamers. Like, and for some reason, some gamers, men, white men, don't like diversity. They have a problem with She-Hulk. They have a problem with, as they call it, woke culture, which I feel is just a bunch of bull crap. Just because you live in a country where there's people of other ethnicities other than white men, yeah, you're gonna start seeing more stuff catering to women. You're gonna start seeing more stuff catering to people of other nationalities other than just white men. See, in my opinion, the original G4, it was needed because at the time there were no gaming channels. Now, with YouTube, you have IGN, you have BuzzFeed, you have so many people now doing game reviews, gaming streams. There's countless thousands. Right now on YouTube, there's thousands of people. And on Twitch doing gaming and gaming reviews and movie reviews. And right now, there really was no need for a version of G4 when you got so many channels now on YouTube that literally do reviews on gaming. Now, I liked the new G4. I had nothing against it. I love Gina Darling. I've been watching her before she was even on G4. Fiona, wasn't familiar with her, or Will, or Cassim, but I thought they were great. When they first laid off 30-something people, I was like, yeah, okay. You know, with capitalism, stuff like this happens. Comcast owned G4, so good chance they put a lot of money into it, and they wasn't making no money back. And it happens when you start pretty much rebranding a whole new company or new channel. And with the way the economy is now, it's costing a lot to have these channels because there's so many channels out there on the internet that you could literally watch for free. So Comcast is not it. You got to realize here in America, 6 corporations own everything you watch. 6. Most of these channels are now not independent on TV. They own either by Warner Media, which is Warner Brothers, Comcast, which is Universal, Viacom, which is Paramount, Sony, which pretty much owns a lot of the stuff that you watch, Sony Pictures. And now you got the streaming service like Netflix and all of that. But a lot of 6 corporations pretty much control everything you see on TV, and that includes news. So when yesterday I saw Gina Darling, she was in tears because people don't realize that's hundreds, maybe 100 some people that literally just lost their jobs. When you get laid off, yeah, you get a severance pay and all that, but you literally unemployed. There's people that she don't work with for about a year that now got to look for a new job. I know how it is when I was laid off in construction years ago. It's like you're starting all over again. And then if you in your, like me, in my 50s, or a lot of these producers, you could tell they were in their 40s and 50s, they got to literally find new work. Even though Comcast might rehire some of them, they're not going to hire all of them. Just like Warner Brothers, about a week or two ago, they laid off a bunch of people. And now everybody think Cartoon Network's about to go off there. These corporations only care about one thing, making a profit. Comcast, Sony, Warner Media, Warner being so many different names, but they only care about one thing, making a profit. And if they putting a lot of money into these corporations or into their channels or into whatever they put into and they ain't making no money back, they just not going to invest in it. Like Batgirl, they spent millions on Batgirl movie, Warner Brothers. It's not going to even be released because they feel, oh, this is not going to make us a profit. But you spent millions to make it. You didn't even give it a chance. And I feel Comcast really didn't care. They don't put the millions into G4. Well, we not making a profit. Oh, well. Because the number one rule I've always been taught about capitalism is we got to make more money than what we are paying you. So if I'm putting millions of dollars into this channel and I'm not making damn near way more millions back, then it's a waste of my time. And this is how all these corporations think. I don't care if it's Paramount, Disney. At one time, Disney had laid off a lot of their animators back a couple years ago. Closed down an animation studio in Florida. Because these corporations only care about making a profit. And they're not going to put money into something where they're not making no way more money back. So my condolences to all the people at G4 that lost their job. Hopefully, I'm hoping a lot of you will find work elsewhere. But in today's time, G4, in its prime back in the early 2000s, G4 was needed. And I'm happy that it existed back then when I was into gaming, like playing PlayStation. But now with so much content out there, there really wasn't a need for G4. I liked it, the channel. I liked it, the tackle of the show. I like Hey Donna. I love Will. He's funny as heck. I loved everything they had on the new G4, but there's so much other content now that you literally competing against hundreds of other gamers and streamers when it comes to gaming compared to what it was back in the early 2000s before they went off the air in 2012. But hopefully a lot of the people that literally just lost their jobs find new work elsewhere. I'm hoping. But I know a lot of them, they're going to struggle after their severance pay is over. They're going to literally have to start all over again trying to find work elsewhere. Outside of TV, good chance. Outside of channel, networking, or whatever, producing. But that's all I have to say about G4. As for this woke culture and sexism, it exists. And to sit there, and some of these YouTubers, they're literally making it seem like, well, this one woman said something about sexism that does exist in video gaming. You might not agree with it, but it exists. And a lot of you are incels, so automatically you think that what you think about gaming isn't sexist. And it is. I've been on the internet since 1990. I've seen racism on the internet since 1990. I grew up around racism. And I literally have seen, because my sister used to play video games, Nintendo. So I've seen sexism right in front of my eyes since I've been playing games and mobile games for the past 10, 15, 20 years. So sexism exists. And for some white male or men gamers to sit there and say it doesn't exist, you're a fucking idiot. Because it does exist. But anyway, I'm hoping a lot of the producers that got laid off will find work elsewhere. And that's all I have to say. I got to get back to work. But thanks for watching. Look out for my NBA Live mobile later today. Uno Mobile, Phase 10, and Skippo. Until then, bye-bye.